So welcome to the Node.js Next 10 meeting for August 30th, 2023. We will follow our standard approach of going through the agenda, which was issue number 226 in the repo. Does anybody have any announcements they'd like to share before we get started? Okay, let's move on to the agenda then. So the first one is Next 10 Collaboration Summit Technical Priorities. I think, Jean, you were working on the PR for that, right?
Yeah, I updated both of them, both for the technical priority and the community one.
Okay, so I'm just looking at 227. This is
And the other one is 222, I think.
Right, okay. So why don't we just take a look at 227 here? Let me share. That's this one, right? And I think I can. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, should be this one to display it like.
Okay, I'm wondering why it's not. Maybe it's just slow. Ah, there we go. Okay, I clicked that button.
So just for the technology trend, let's say, I noted a few points which are really interesting. First one is we do have a lot, like at least multiple topics about integrating with other language or using bridge to other language, and mostly with being related to Rust, so using an API, Node API or WebAssembly WASM or anything around that, or just basically Rust, which I think it's something we are already doing. Like we have multiple working groups around that, so it's a good topic to keep and to maintain.
Okay. Yeah. No.
And which also could be great because both on the example and also you will be presenting about that. So it's a good topic that a lot of people seems to be interested in and want to use. And I guess also company will maybe try to invest to rely on lower level language and Node.js for performance purpose on some specific use case and maybe even more related to machine learning, for example. So I think it is also some point where Node.js can like shine and where we can work on providing more, let's say, examples / tutorial around that.
Okay. So I guess like the -1 would be what, like, I think I understand the plus. What is the, sorry, what's the change column mean?
Basically, it's basically the position between 2022 and 2023.
Okay, so that's like ESM support went up +4 is the...
No, it's on the column on the left is 2022, the new one is 2023. So the first one is observability, which was 4 position, basically 4 position lower the year before.
Right, okay, so right, so like types is lower, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I see you've got some notes.
Yeah, trying to summarize for some part, for example, for other one, like is a smaller input from people, so like less relevant, but basically across this one and the other one, I think if I have to resume, and maybe we can discuss that next time if everyone has time to see that, but it seems like the big topic are around, let's say, type as a whole, performance, bridge to other languages, and like always, HTTP global solution, let's say.
Right. I think it'd be good to spend a few minutes today just looking and say, okay, is there anything like that we should do having seen this, right? Like,
so yeah, I think observability, just for this one, observability becomes a topic that more and more, and even just outside of the survey, companies are being involved and want to rely on and use.
Right.
So this is also, I guess, for us in Node.js, a big push for the diagnostic channel and everything related to observability for that. Like I said, we also have everything around bridge, and most of the time it's Rust, but it's also included other stuff, so linking to other language.
Right.
Which are the big topic around most of the idea.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I'm just looking to see any of these that stands out. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts on things that stand out as interesting to them or. If not, anyway, I think getting this in definitely, I'm just gonna do that. The other one was, so there's good to get that, and then
222.
22, right? Yeah, okay.
For this one, I think
Yep.
one of the main point, and that's also something we discussed, I think, during the last Collaborator Summit, but also outside and the last next 10 is how to reach and to find more people wanting to contribute to the project, basically.
Right.
And then we have like mostly recurrent topic around evolution, stability, and let's say performance, which are always, most of the time, at least linked together.
Right. Right.
And still the flaky CI.
Yeah, no, I know we have some working well. I'm just looking through and thinking a bit like, I don't know what other people think, but like a lot of the areas we have covered, like in terms of initiatives, or they're not necessarily, I don't see too many things which is like brand new, hey, we should go do X or something, right?
Yeah.
Still the ongoing.
Yeah, this one is a big topic, which was like this year we put most of the stuff around mentorship contributor almost together. It was a bit split in the years before, but yeah, the main topic, or how can we find more people willing to contribute, or more support for from company.
Yeah. Okay, so no, that's good. So that was in, so going back to the agenda, trying to get back to the agenda. Here we go.
So welcome to the Node.js Next 10.
I'll press the wrong button. Okay. Okay, so we discussed, and then is that covered? I think we could probably close that now, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we can say
I can close it when both are really merged, and I will close it. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, the next one, corporate support and contribution.
So this one we had a good long discussion during the last Next 10 meeting.
Yep.
Which was pretty good, and I will just add the link to the pull request inside. Could be interesting to keep it. I think it could be great to try to have a discussion, maybe outside of the collaborator summit or when a lot of people will meet, and maybe also even to discuss that with people from the Linux Foundation or maybe the OSPO, what the name, OSPOCon or something like that in Spain.
I think trying to connect you, like if you're interested in moving this forward, I think talking to people at the in the OpenJS Foundation would be good.
Yep.
So I don't know if you have contacts, want me to try and set up contacts, or
I don't really have specific contact at the foundation. So if you have some name or can do a quick introduction, that would be perfect.
Yeah, I'll send an email that just says like, hey, you're championing this to look in the next 10 to probably to Robin and say like, hey, is there somebody in the OpenJS Foundation or Linux Foundation that would be good to talk to? Somebody else trying to say something? Sorry.
Yeah, I just said if you need someone on the foundation, there's also me here.
Okay. Do you want me to include you on CC there?
If you want to, feel free to.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Cool.
You want to, the more people that think about it, the better. So definitely. Okay. Okay, the next one is metadata proposal for docs. So Claudio, I know you have lots of different things going on, but I don't know if there's an update on that this week.
Sadly, it's still on hold. But unrelated directly to the metadata proposal. Just to justify why it's still in the backlog, we're still working the website like you right there. But one update that we have, which is more not regarding to the metadata proposal, but the look and feel of the API docs. So one thing that we'll be talking with the foundation, and also I talked briefly with some TSC members, because we don't want to have the API docs actually be embedded on the Node.js website itself, but we can bring the technologies that we have with the new design that are being provided by the foundation to the API docs, meaning that we can update the templates that are used there, at least try to refresh the look and feel, and bring also the tooling that I created originally for Node.js a dev, to allow things like search and etc., better separation of results, a better navigation, those kind of things. It's an intermediate solution because the metadata proposal will definitely take way more, but the intermediate solution can also be used with the final solution. So it's something that will not be discarded. Just it brings value.
Okay. Sounds interesting. So that when you click that API docs link, it doesn't look quite so different as the.
Yeah, I can provide an exact link of how we assume it should look in the future. Let me add here. It's on the Figmas that were created by the foundation, but it's also here. We're still discussing a few things and getting feedback from TSC members, but I'm confident with those things, to be honest.
Okay. It's not the nicest
link.
formatting, but anyway, I guess that's what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, anything else you want to mention on that front before we move on to the next one?
Sadly not.
No. Okay. Review easy retros from Collab Summit and do updates as appropriate. So
I think I did it. I think I forgot to move the PR. The PR was in draft. I think I forgot to change the status, which I can do, but technically it's good to be reviewed.
Okay, so you've like incorporated most of the comments and stuff like that.
I think all the feedback have been added, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like the single executable applications. Okay. It's interesting that this one came through fairly strongly in the survey.
I will have to review, but I think it came back this year on the survey in Vancouver, but it wasn't part of the survey like last November.
Yeah, no, I meant the yeah. So I meant the survey in
Yes. So
but I'm almost kind of thinking like we don't want to necessarily take it out and put it back. I guess we could do that, but
yeah.
So like this one. Community survey. Okay. So, okay, it still shows as draft.
Yeah, I just clicked, should be good
Okay.
now.
You just did that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, okay, and then the last thing on the agenda was create communication channel for 2JS periodicals. I think that's, the Ulysses did a great job. We have the news feed. Really, I guess we could still use some more work in like talking to periodicals. We've had a bit of back and forth at JS Weekly. The other thing too, though, is we probably still have some work to be getting teams to be putting news there.
Yep.
Along with like making sure people understand it's not meant to be like a polished, hey, we're doing a newsletter. It's more of just like, it's meant to be a really low overhead, easy way to say, here's something that that happened that's interesting in the project, and we accomplished this. And so it's probably our messaging. We still have work there in terms of working with the collaborators on the messaging, so that we get more interesting news and stuff like that. I'm going to say nothing really to discuss week, but that's kind of like what my thinking is, that we need to continue to work on those. I do have a session at the Collaborator Summit, like a 15-minute, I think that was part of it, to say like, here's what it is, and try and convey some of that messaging, right?
Yep.
It does remind me.
On the agenda, sorry, I think in the agenda, it's one of the first things, but I think I merged the 15-minute session with one of the next 10 to make it a whole 1 hour. So there's something I actually wanted to bring up here.
Yeah.
Because I will share the link with you since you're already presenting. I mean, as far as you know, you already looked at this sheet before, but just to check we're on the same page. In total, next 10 showed have 1 hour and 45 minutes of time. So one is in the first room, which is the actual technical parts for the next 10 years, everything that folks want to say. And then in the second room is more collaboration session, which is building long-term contributions, because I assume that people will probably have something to say there. While if I remember on the previous summits, the first one, it's more like a report of where we are, what's next, etc.
Some of our brainstorming and stuff like that. Yeah, that work definitely that fits. Like, it's nice to have everybody or most people like to on that brainstorming, and then the other one is more like a working session, right? So yeah, definitely. Yeah. I do see this next 10 news out.
Oh yeah, that's the 15-minute. Okay.
Yeah, so actually, that's where I thought that was
part. Yeah. So in order to make the working sessions to be immediately after each one of them, their main corresponding things, then I had to move the next 10 news out down there.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So like that's what I was just mentioning. Like, we have that session to talk a little bit about the initiative. It does remind me I should start to think about that.
Yeah, I do recall that originally you asked for on the issue for 2 hours for the technical purchase for next 10 years. At least what I can say is that at 4 p.m. we pretty much have 1 hour free, right? So I made it more like an open time, because if there's any of the previous sessions that people still want to talk or go back to those topics, I think it's a free time to go over them. But last collab summit we had, I was requested for 2 hours, but it was only 1 hour, and I think it worked. So yeah, let me know if those times do not work.
I personally think like I know it's a tough challenge to get everything to fit in together. So this looks like a good balance between everything. So.
Okay. Yeah. It's just because I know that, your request originally hours, yeah. Cool. Yeah. That's what I had to say.
Yeah. Yeah. No, thanks for asking. But yeah, it's squeezing everybody in. It looks like you did a great job getting everything in there. And
hopefully, let's see if people actually, on the day they actually enjoy this way, how I formatted things. Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. So anything more you want to chat about on that one? I think that takes us to the end. We have a bit of time. Is there any other topics or things people wanted to talk about this week?
I think that John wanted to ask me something.
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, it wasn't really linked to the next 10. It was mostly with Michael, we'll be presenting like some of the feedback from the next 10. And if you want us to include some part also, because there is a new website in the last time and stuff like that. So just to discuss, and maybe not doing it with the next 10 today, but just to discuss what you want us to discuss about and what the current state of the initiative and stuff like that. But we can do that, I think, or when you want.
I mean, let me see if I got it correctly. So what exactly, for example, you want me to add about for the website, like the progress that we've been working on the website, because it's been, kind of some effort being put there, both on the foundation from the project. Is more like that, or what exactly?
So for us, it's just being part to, let me find a slide in the category just from memory. It's part of a new team and initiative. And I think as we'll be talking like just swiftly and quickly about the for example, single executable application and UBWASI. Also, I think from the work that was done around the new website, it would be great to have just one slide about this topic, if it's done and a new website, or is there a new website? Don't know how to call it, but
I mean, sure. But the thing is that we will have a dedicated session to talk exactly about the work that they've been doing in the website. So I feel like.
Sorry, Jean, were you talking about for the Collaborator Summit or for our talk in the main conference?
I guess a bit of both.
Oh.
Because like in the talk in the main conference, like we have like a what's next.
Yes.
And there we do have like some, brief, one slide on a bunch of the key initiatives. And that's where maybe like, hey, that's where I was thinking Jean was asking about. And that,
It was,
yeah.
It was mostly this one at first, yeah.
Yeah, if you share me the actual Google Doc where you're making the slides, I can try to bring something together. There's some a very small bullet point list of key things that we did on the website.
Yeah, it could just be you could look at what we have and say, oh, wait a sec, you missed this or that, or it's worth mentioning this thing, right?
Yeah. Okay. Just share with me. I'd be more than happy to give a look at that. Yeah.
Cool.
That does remind me, Jean, I guess we need to make sure we get the decks for the Collab Summit sessions. Start working on those.
Yeah, sure.
I'm away next week, so maybe see if we can sync this week, and then otherwise it'll be the week after. So.
Yeah, we can check that Friday, if you do have some availability, we can discuss on Slack for that, but Friday would be best for me.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool.
Any other topics we should chat about?
Do we want to organize or to start thinking about a specific mini summit before the end of the year?
Yeah, so what would the topic, like, I guess we've got a few topics, right? So we could think about which one would be the most interesting.
Yeah. Did we still have a list on some topic that we didn't cover? Documentation.
Well, we had a list somewhere, but it might have been in one of our decks of like next things. Just gonna look and see if I can find that.
In the technical priority, working on the root level of the next 10, we do have a list with some topic, and we added when we did some of them.
I think serverless is, I mean, we scheduled something, but it didn't happen, so that might still be a possibility. And I know we had at least one person say like, yeah, I couldn't make the other one, but like would think it's a good idea. So sorry, just nuts.
Could it be also interesting to have one around because we've seen that it's like a good idea and a lot of people seem to be interested in on, I don't know, Node API, UAZ, or this kind of bridge between Node.js and another language?
Yeah, it's an interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking on that front if there's anything that makes sense. So I'm just looking through the list. I don't think we have a list of. Yeah, it is a good idea. So maybe opening an issue for the next, since we don't seem to have one, right? If you want to open an issue that says like, hey, let's look at our next deep dive, and we could then put it like, use that to list possibilities and discuss timing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, doing that right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Any other things we should chat about?
Not on my side.
No, if not, then we'll say thanks. Let me see if I can stop sharing. Right. Thanks to everybody for coming and the time, and we will see everybody in GitHub and next time, and not too far away at the Collaborator Summit in Spain. So hope to see everybody there. Okay.
Yeah, it's
thanks.
coming closer.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, y'all.
See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe, wait, Michael, maybe we need also, when is the next 10 meeting? Is it during the week or is it the week just before Bilbao?
I think it's the week just before.
Okay, yeah, all good. So we can keep it. Great.
Actually, I'm just looking though. Is that right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay.
It's Wednesday 13th, so should be a week before.
Sounds good. Okay, thanks.
Cool. Thank you.